The question is every music genre from Africa Afrobeats?
There's a tendency to group all African artists under Afrobeat.
There seems to be this perception that a whole lot of music from Africa is Afrobeats. The reason I'm addressing this and making this video, basically, it appears that a whole lot of award shows are beginning to put all African music in one box. And they seem to also be putting artists who perhaps don't fall in this category as Afrobeats.
African music is so diverse. It's more than just Afrobeats.
And one of the things for me, as far as I'm concerned, and I think for many Africans and people who know about African music, is that Africa has got a plethora of music genres. In fact, it's so many that I cannot even begin to name all of them.
African music is so diverse. It's more than just Afrobeats.
The aim of this video really is to open our eyes and the eyes of the world to what's available in Africa, and to tell you that it's a culture and a continent rich in music of various types, genres across all countries in Africa.
I noticed that any music that comes out of Nigeria, people just put it under Afrobeats because it's Nigeria, it's Africa. So now the new name for African music seems to be Afrobeats. And I don't know that that's right, because it's like there's so many genres.
Right. Now, the interesting thing about genres is that a whole lot of artists from Africa have actually said, I do not want to be put in a box. I am not just Afrobeats, because they believe, again, that there is a plethora of genres in Africa. I did a whole video on artists who don't like to be boxed, and I'll put a link somewhere up there. Wizkid came out and said, don't call me an Afrobeat artist. And this stems from the fact that he believes Africa is not just about Afrobeats. There are a plethora of genres.
I'm a musician from Africa. There's nothing I can't make. I don't put myself in a box.
Artists are coming out and voicing how they feel. You know, artists like Rema, for example, as well. He's making all different types of music just to show you that Africa is rich and is not only about Afrobeats.
For sound-wise, I wanted to stand behind something that they criticized. I wanted to build on that thing that they criticized. I had to brand it. I had to name it, you know. I feel like if I just keep going back and forth with people, it will not have enough essence as much as I want it to have. So when I label it in one word, instead of just shouting my sound, my sound, my sound, my sound, it's like, what sound? You know, I just had to label it, right? And I always gave, like, you know, my biggest kudos to Afrobeats. But still, Afrobeats is the mother tree. You know, everybody got their sound, great. And some people choose to label that sound, great. Some people didn't choose to label that sound, just like we do Afrobeats, and that's it. I do Afrobeats, right? But my sound within Afrobeats, I label as Afro-Rave.
I'm gonna really just start from or name a few countries and a few genres just to give you an example. An example that are sort of verifiable so that you can check for yourselves. Perhaps I want you also do is to send a link of this video to all of these award shows so that we can enlighten, because sometimes the reason people do this is because they don't know, they have no idea, or they're not informed on what is available. So most of the time it's not intentional. If you think it's intentional, or if you think it's true ignorance, drop me a comment. Let me know what you feel. We can have a debate about that.
African music is so diverse.
Let me tell you about genres from Africa. We have Umbe, for example, and with Umbe, think Ladysmith Black Mambazo. It's often in a cappella with sweet vocal harmonies. I particularly like harmonies because it's very sweet to the ears. So when I say harmonies now, you might have someone singing bass, you might have someone singing alto, you might have someone singing lower bass, you might have someone doing a soprano part, and when you mash this all together and hear it, it's very pleasing to the ears, it's very beautiful. From Ghana, for example, we have Highlife. And when you talk Highlife, it originated from Ghana and it spread all across West Africa, spread into Nigeria. And in Nigeria, for example, we have what you call the Igbo Highlife. And the Igbo Highlife sweetens me up. There is this Oja instrument. And with this Oja instrument, is very sweet, it's very melodic. You have artists like Flavor, artists like KC. They've incorporated this Oja into their music. It just sounds really sweet and melodic. In fact, KC did a song called the Amapiano, and I can tell you it's really sweet. So I like this sweet Igbo Oja instrument. It's really beautiful. You need to hear it. From the Yoruba part of Nigeria, we have Juju music. Now, Juju music is popular with artists like Sunny Ade, Ebenezer Obey, and it's often very rhythmic and got guitar, and they play these guitar licks, and it's very beautiful, very danceable. You often see these live bands all playing Juju music. We also have Fuji music. This emerged in the 60s. Fuji music is derived from Were music. Fuji music has got Muslim roots, and you have artists like Ayinde Barrister, Kollington, and it's often very melodious and very rhythmic as well. Music from the DRC, music from Congo, we have the rumba. And you know, when you think rumba, you think shaking, you think waist shaking, you think movement, you think rhythm. It's very sweet and melodious as well. You think Fally Ipupa, you think Kofi Olomide. These are artists that are well popular all across Africa. We also have Sukus, also known as Lingala. When you think Sukus, think of artists like Awilo. Awilo plays the Suku style of music, although it meshes sometimes into rumba as well. It's really melodious, really sweet. It's got this sweet texture. You cannot help but dance and dance and dance. You know, the thing with Sukus is that it's more high tempo compared to maybe the Congolese rumba, and they're quite closely related, and just subtle differences here and there.
I come from South Africa. I represent Amapiano.
Tyla has made it very clear. She represents Amapiano, she represents Africa, and that's good on her. You know, it's important to be proud of your roots and to be able to express yourself. If there's any message to be taken from this video, it is that Africa is not one genre. Africa is not one country. There are many countries in Africa with various cultures spread across the continent. They all have their own style of music. What we want to happen in Africa is to be able to share all of these genres so that music can become really expansive and enjoyable for everybody to explore. You know, music is about exploration. Music is about discovery. If we keep saying Africa is just Afrobeats, there will be no chance for growth. There will be no chance for discovery. See you in the next video, guys.